In the second unresolved problem segment tonight, religious freedom and same-sex marriage. Yesterday, Washington State Supreme Court struck a blow to Baronelle Stutzman, a florist who refused to provide her services to a gay wedding. Stutzman claimed doing so would have violated her religious beliefs, but the court ruled that she had violated the state's anti-discrimination laws. Stutzman says she now plans to appeal her case to the United States Supreme Court, potentially setting up a major legal showdown over religious freedom. Joining us now from Atlanta, Robin Biro, a Democratic strategist and LGBT activist, and from Orlando, Sandy Rios, Director of Governmental Affairs for the American Family Association. So, Robin, let me start with you. I'll play devil's advocate here. If a Christian baker refuses to bake a wedding cake for a gay couple, that's discriminatory to many people. But if a designer refuses to dress Melania Trump because of political beliefs, isn't that also discriminatory? What's the difference?
Now, I see your point, and I see your spin. However, she has a public business.
That's just asking a serious question.
There's a sign in front of her business that says open for business. It's open for business to the public, to all of the public.
Right.
Now, Melania Trump was trying to get a specially commissioned gown. That's a special commission. Now, if this florist wanted to just do specially commissioned flowers for people, she could do that, but she's open for business to the general public. She cannot discriminate against people based on their religion.
Right.
Washington State protects against discrimination from LGBT and familial status. So, I mean, you can't go down this road.
I understand.
It's a slippery slope.
I understand it's a slippery slope. And Sandy, let me hit you with something now. So if you're a Christian baker and you believe that it's a sin, gay marriage and gay weddings, and you don't want to allow your customers that, does that mean that every customer that comes in that wants a cake that may be a liar, or maybe a adulterer, or maybe a cheater, or a thief, you have to look into their sin history in order to make a determination whether or not you want to fire up the oven?
No, I guess the answer to that, Jesse, would be that you would have no customers, and you yourself could never bake a cake or do floral arrangements. The point is, it's not that we need a litmus test for someone's moral purity. The point is that Baronelle is being forced to embrace and endorse and give her artistry to something that she feels violates her religious faith. And I have to say, probably because we live in such a culture that's so removed from our morals, people don't understand that the whole union between one man and one woman started in the history of the God of our fathers in this country, the history of creation, male and female. Yeah. And the union of man and woman is sacred. And so what we're asking Baronelle to do is not embrace people. She's done flower arrangements for this couple before. She knows them, they've been friends for years. She was actually set up with this. It's just that because she's a Christian, she cannot lend her artistry to something that she feels is in a moral union that breaches her country.
Well, I did not know baking was art. That is great.
No,
you know what? I'm an artist.
Jesse.
Because when I bake cookies, that means I'm an artist. And I'm just the art that I participate in. But guys, we gotta run.
We are losing objective Duff.
Sturmsoldat, Sichtweite!
Next on the rundown, former NFL star Dr. Stalwart tells Bill O'Reilly
Aufpassen! Feindlicher Soldat!
We got about politics, not listen.
We have lost objective Duff. taken objective Duff. We are losing objective Charlie.
Der
Soldat dort, das ist ein Jerry!
Athletes like Colin Kaepernick are becoming the center of political strife. But former NFL star Dante Stallworth drew attention this week after arguing that it's not a bad thing.
I've always been an advocate
Seht ihr?
to speak out on social and political issues. These people are people that are role models, and if you look at it, a lot of these athletes have grown up in these types of neighborhoods where they've come from the bottom, and so they relate more to the average person.
Yesterday, Stallworth entered the no spin zone to make his case to Bill O'Reilly.
So my views with athletes and movie stars too, getting involved with politics, is that I think there should be a baseline of information that they should know enough about what they're talking about. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. I think they should take the onus
We are
to
winning.
themselves to understand the topics that they are going to be disseminating with this type of information. But at the same time, you've got to be able to be honest. And
Panzer gesichtet!
You have to be truthful.
Sure, but Colin Kaepernick is the best example. We want to talk to him here, all right?
We have lost objective Duff.
Now, not just because he wasn't here, but he didn't go
Ah,
out
ein
anyway.
Speer!
All right, he did his little press conference in the locker room, but he didn't really go out. Yet he was disrespectful to the vets. Don't you think he had a responsibility to back up his kneeling down?
Well, you know what, Bill? I don't think he was necessarily disrespectful, or at least intentionally disrespectful.
Okay, but you know others disagree with you, Dante.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, for sure.
all right. So
for sure.
you've got to respect their disagreement,
Right,
their
for
dissent. So that if he's going to do it, put himself in the arena.
Die auf den entgegenstoßen!
Explain it as
Well, I think he did that initially when he tried to make a silent protest, and then it was figured out later on after the comments, it was figured out that Colin wasn't standing for the national anthem, and they asked him why, and he went on to talk about a lot of the disparities that minorities, African Americans, in certain communities around this country, and he cited some of the DOJ's. Some of their investigations on a number of cities across the country. But yeah, it would be good. I'd like for him to come out here and talk to you about it and explain a little more.
He has an obligation, all right, to do that because he is influencing younger people. You know, there are people who look up to Colin Kaepernick.
Right.
It's like the 6 New England Patriots who won't go to the White House, and they've been invited to celebrate their Super Bowl win. Now, they're entitled to that. I don't have a problem with it, but I'd like to know why. You're not really going to endorse Donald Trump. You're going to the nation's capital and the White House, the people's house. You're an American. This is the people's house. And you don't want to show up? Why?
You know what? I agree with whatever they want to do. There was in 2011, I believe 2012, Tim Thomas, the goaltender or the hockey goalie for the Boston Bruins, decided not to go because he said that
he didn't go to President Obama.
Yes,
right.
Because he said that the federal government was stripping the American people of their liberties, of their property, and things of that nature. So I
but
feel
he
that
was more accessible. Correct me if I'm wrong. Thomas was the Bruins goalie. Then
he just released the statement, and that was it. He didn't talk about it anymore after.
Okay.
That. Yeah.
All right. Well, then he should have done the same thing. I think if you're going to be fair and you're going to dissent publicly,
right.
and I'm more interested in the kids than anybody else. I mean, anybody, with all due respect, Dante, a great football player, but anybody who says, hey, you know, Dante Stallworth, I'm voting for who he's voting for. Right. You know, if you're an adult,
What's up next, Sergeant?
come on. Yeah. Right? For kids, you know, they hear this stuff, particularly high school kids, and I think that these athletes and celebrities owe it to the kids to explain it as best they can. Last word.
Yeah, I think so. And at the end of the day, I believe that athletes all, and not just athletes, but any entertainer should have the accessibility to be able to explain these because they're going to use their platform for that reason.
That's right. So you and I agree. Right on. That's an old 60s expression. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
Finally tonight, a reminder to check out my show, Water's World, airing tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Fox News Channel. Tomorrow's episode features my confrontation with a college professor who's in trouble after making outrageous claims about Donald Trump, all caught on video. Here's a sneak peek. Professor, you say that President Trump is going to kill people? How do you justify that? This isn't a cult, this is a classroom, Professor. Why are you trying to indoctrinate your students? Does St. Joe's even know that you said these things? Because they do now. Bill O'Reilly never listens to the show, so you shouldn't either. And that is it for us tonight. Again, thanks for watching this O'Reilly Factor special, President Trump, first month. I'm Jesse Waters, in for Bill O'Reilly. I'll be back on Monday. Please remember, and this is my world.
Tonight, I'm in Henry Killian again before Tucker returns Monday. In a week dominated by media breastfeeding about President Trump allegedly being stuck in crisis mode, today he actually went back to yes winning. Mere hours after that raucous news conference at the White House, the president was on offense again, confirming another cabinet pick that had been on Senator Chuck Schumer's hit list for defeat. This time the Senate can stop the one who violated protection order. But a Republican yesterday was clear. Nothing short of a bloodbath.
A flame trooper kit is available near your location.
Not really. Hundreds of EPA bureaucrats had been lobbying the Senate to block the new boss
We have taken
from even
objective
getting the
Charlie.
job. Why? Because they fear he's about to reverse years of their precious government regulations and may even be ready to eliminate a bunch of their taxpayer-funded jobs. Remember, the president warned yesterday about just this type of insurrection when he charged forces in the government were trying to wreck his presidency.
I've also worked to install a cabinet over the delays and obstruction. So, you've seen what they've done. That will be one of the great cabinets ever assembled in American history. Every guy walking in and saying, I would like to meet you, because I do want to say that. But he probably was told somebody like that. He was probably told, don't meet with him.
And he also talked about all those rings. So what can
Enemy machine gun sighted!
We are losing objective Charlie.
Bureaucracy hell-bent on blocking his agenda. And in the long term, will the president get the last and its nearly 15,000 employees.
Sight! Enemy shock trooper!
15,000 employees whose salaries we pay. Myron Ebell is Director of Global Warming and International Environmental Policy at the Competitive Enterprise Institute. He also led President Trump's environmental transition team. He joins us live now. This insurrection at the EPA, there were liberal government analysts quoted in the New York Times today saying this has never happened before, where you had literally a couple hundred employees at the EPA trying to block the new boss from getting his job.
Well, never before have we had a president who wants to fundamentally transform the federal government and change the course of the EPA and get rid of a lot of the regulations that they've been adding and adding for decades.
So we're putting a spotlight on this tonight because the media kind of laughed it off when the president at the news conference was saying that the leaks we see in the intelligence community, we may see more of it at other federal agencies, that there are basically Obama holdovers who want to try to stop this president's agenda. You believe that?
Yes, EPA, you have an entire civil service bureaucracy where they are opposed to the president's and they think that it's more important to support that area than to do their jobs. And so this idea of defiance or insurrection, I think, is quite possible. And I think, the leadership that EPA, Scott Pruitt, the administrator, is going to have to work very hard to get somebody involved.
And we wanted to dig deep on the details. It's not just EPA. If you look at federal government agencies across the country,
We're moving around.
these government employees gave campaign money to Hillary Clinton over Donald Trump, in some cases 94%.
Set up a shock trooper.
And if you just go down the line, look at this list. Agriculture Department, 99.4% of the campaign contributions from employees there went to Hillary Clinton. The Commerce Department, 98%. Education Department, 99.7%. So when you say Scott Pruitt is going to have a job on his hands, the EPA was well over 90% as well. What are these bureaucrats going to do to try to undermine and stop the president's agenda in terms of ripping out government regulations? The president says, you get rid of these environmental regulations, the economy's going to take off.
I think the problem is that the civil service has become largely a special interest agenda. With its own agenda, they're supposed to be experts in administration who know how to carry out policies. So it seems to me that they have a choice now. Are they going to be professionals, civil servants, or are they going to be activists? If they're activists, they should either resign or retire.
So is there a way for Scott Pruitt to drain the swamp, as the president talked about over at the EPA? He talked about civil service protections, U.S. code for they've got unions who will protect them and make sure that even if they're trying to stop the president's agenda.
Look out! 3 minutes right over there.
I think that if there is direct insubordination, people who do not do what they're supposed to do, they can't be disciplined. That terminated. I think the other solution is to outsource the agency. The fact is that the EPA has
A flame torch is available near your location.
more and more of their work to the states.
So if the states are actually the ones trying to protect the environment, what are 15,000 people in the EPA doing?
Well, I think a lot of them are pursuing their own agenda. I think we can.
And that agenda means issuing more
Watch it! It's a scout!
You increase the power of the EPA every time you have a new regulation that harms investment and kills jobs. A lot of what the EPA does today has very little to do with environmental protection. It has to do with increasing their power and their control.
Now, to be fair, now Scott Pruitt, he has been, to say, a skeptic of climate change would be the understatement, perhaps, of the year. And so, when Christy Todd
We are losing objective Charlie.
moderate Republican, former governor of New Jersey, served as EPA administrator under George W. Bush, she said what it means is that it's going to be a bloodbath when Pruitt gets it. She's not someone known for hyperbole. She's a moderate Republican. What's a bloodbath?
Well, I think Christy Todd is a go along and get along person. And I think she wants to hype this because she represents the Republican base that really supports this.
We have lost objective
So
butter.
bottom line, Donald Trump's in the campaign said he wants to get rid of the EPA. He's been keeping a lot of these campaign promises. Some to his detriment politically, where people are saying he's moving too fast. Bottom line, do you think Donald Trump is going to do the transition?
Watch him.
Do you think President Trump is going to try to eliminate the EPA altogether?
I think we'll know fairly soon when we see his first budget request. He said he wants a 2% per annum decrease.
We are losing
in federal
objective
expenditure.
Charlie.
He wants to increase military spending and keep entitlements. That means domestic
We have taken objective apples.
So let's see what the hit EPA has to take.
Yes or no? I've got 15 seconds. At the end of Donald Trump's first term, will the EPA be eliminated?
No, I think it'll take longer than that.
So the bureaucrats will keep it going.
Well, I think it's
We have lost objective Charlie.
Myron Bell, we really appreciate your time. Thanks for having me. The next presidential election is 4 years away. President Trump seems to have already returned to campaign mode.
We have taken objective butter.
Good job. And he's gearing up for a rally at an airplane hangar tomorrow, just in Battlefield, Florida, which sounds a lot like one of those 2016 campaign events. For more details, let's take it Sunshine State. That's where we find our correspondent, David Fisher. Good evening.
Hey, Ed. Well, President Trump moved into the White House exactly 4 weeks ago today. And since then, we've really seen a lot of him. He's been in meetings. We've seen him on phone calls. We've seen him signing executive orders. But we haven't really seen him in his element, or at least the element that we grew accustomed to during the campaign. At those big rallies, tons of supporters, sparring with reporters. Until yesterday. Yesterday was his first solo press conference
We have
as
taken
president,
objective
and it was
apples.
classic
Plan,
candidate
Sergeant.
Trump. He attacked the press for being dishonest. He attacked leakers in the intelligence community, called them criminal leaks. He attacked Democrats for delaying his cabinet confirmations. He even attacked his old opponent, Hillary Clinton. He mentioned her 12 times in about 80 minutes. And President Trump really enjoyed it. He even said that he was having a good time. Then today, he stopped by what really could have been a campaign event in South Carolina. He stopped by the big assembly plant that makes that new 77 Dreamliner, and he used the event to talk about 3 of his
Eyes on a damn
campaign
shock
promises:
trooper.
to create jobs, improve pay, and lower taxes on American businesses.
This plane, as you know, is built right here in the great state of South Carolina. Our goal as a nation must be to rely less on imports and more on products made here in the USA. Right here in the USA.
And then tomorrow, we're going to see his first big rally as President of the United States.
Gotta capture the objective.
Hangar in Melbourne, Florida, that's about 2 hours away from here, right in Orlando. And hundreds, maybe thousands of people are expected to show up. And to be very clear here, this is a campaign event. The White House says it is paid for by his campaign, even though his next election, of course, is still 4 years away. Now, the other big thing on President Trump's to-do list while he's down here in Palm Beach at his winter White House this weekend is he's going to be meeting, interviewing potential candidates for his national security advisor. And we know one meeting that is definitely going to be taking place, and that is with his acting national security advisor, Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg. Some of the other names in the mix: General David Petraeus, General Keith Alexander, Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster, Stephen Hadley, and then one new name that was grabbing tonight, former U.S. Ambassador to the UN, John Bolton. Now, before I go, one more thing. There was a very minor incident that took place tonight as the presidential motorcade was making its way from the airport to Mar-a-Lago. Somebody threw something
Halfway there, the
at
enemy has the
motorcade,
upper
and the
hand.
Secret Service is now investigating. In fact, they released a statement, and it reads in part: the Secret Service confirmed that an object appears to be thrown at the motorcade this afternoon. We are investigating at this time and don't have anything further. So we don't know who threw it. We don't know what was thrown. Nobody was hurt. Ed.
Well, it's good to hear nobody protesters out there around Mar-a-Lago. Stay safe. Up next is President Trump in his war with the media on the heels of an epic news conference. News conference call out tonight suggests his strategy may be working to elevate his fair balance. We'll show you what the president just tweeted to the media. Also, Joe Warren was given a bad grade on a homework assignment. But this time, they want to answer an anti-Trump question. Really? We'll talk to the girl's father. With anything that happened, can we mention the girl's father?
Ammo, get some!
We are losing objective butter.
Get fast, man!
We have lost objective butter. armored train en route.
Throwing a grenade!
Our armored
Unfortunately, much of the media in Washington, D.C., along with New York, Los Angeles in particular, speaks not for the people, but for the special interests and for those profiting off a very, very obviously broken system. The press has become so dishonest that we don't talk about it. We are doing a tremendous disservice to the American people. Tremendous disservice. We have to talk about it. The press honestly is out of control. The level of dishonesty is out of control. No, there's always look, you know what it is? The public isn't they read newspapers, they see television, they watch. They don't know because they're not involved. I'm involved. I get involved with the stuff on the road. But I'm involved. So I know what's happening. You are! Such hatred.
Back off today? Come on. Fake news media is not my enemy. It's the enemy of the American people. Usual suspects of mainstream media.
We have taken objective Duff.
This was un-American. They seem to use
We have taken objective Charlie.
something. I'm sure there was just as much howling then, right? No? Oh, okay. We'll get to that in a minute. For now, a brand new Fox poll suggests the president may be winning his war with the media. The poll of 1,000 registered voters found 68% believe the media is helpful to President Trump.
We are losing objective Charlie.
35% trust President Trump more than they trust the media. Whereas 42% say they trust the media more, right?
We have lost objective Duff.
Slight advantage Trump. But can that advantage hold, and is there any danger to labeling the press the enemy of the people? Jessica Tarlov is director of research for Bustle.com. Richard Lowry is editor-in-chief of National Review.
We have lost objective Apple.
This is unacceptable!
I said on Twitter
We have taken objective
Throw the
Duff.
grenade!
Someone tweeted back that they want to know if Jessica was bringing a violin, and I assume that's because they think you're going to hear this sad song about Donald Trump was so mean to the media, you know, he's unhinged, he's misinformed, and that maybe you and other Democrats realize Donald Trump was elected.
Oh, I absolutely realize that. I've been dealing with this reality for almost 4 weeks now since inauguration. Before that, I was still amazing. Donald Trump we saw yesterday in that press conference. It was a base rallying cry there. He campaigned on the news is fake. Right? And he repeated that yesterday. The leaks are real, but the news is fake. There is something interesting also within that Fox poll, though. While 68% think that the media is tougher on Trump than they were on Obama, which I do think is true, partly due to how Donald Trump treats the media itself. 55% said that they do want the press to cover him aggressively, so that implies they want to fight back, to say
We are
things like,
losing objective
wait, I'm
Charlie.
going to ask again. Please explain to me the timeline of when you found out about whatever conversations General Flynn had with the
We
Russians.
have taken objective
Can we get a
apples.
yes or no answer to our questions? So the American public may think that he's not being treated like Obama was treated, but they want them to keep going.
We
They
are
want
losing.
the truth.
Rich, you said you wrote today online, and you said what's good dealing with replacing Obamacare. So how are you doing on that?
Yeah, my advice would be a press conference like yesterday is a lot of fun for everyone. You know, when Trump said, look, I'm not ranting and raving, I'm actually having a good time, he was telling the truth. He enjoys this. But his ultimate revenge on the media will be governing successfully and building a popular mandate to be elected for a second term.
We have taken objective
to get his
butter.
White House on fill out his administration. He needs to focus on jobs. You know, the event he did yesterday with the miners, the event he did today with Boeing really should be the focus. And then getting a few big things done on the Capitol. Tax reform, which are bigger than complex taxes.
Jessica, I'm a little sad for you today.
I'm so happy, Ed.
Well, I'm sad because Senator Rand Paul is coming up in a few moments. I talked to him about Obamacare,
Yeah.
and he's bringing a plan to this very